What is going on, folks? My name is Spice of the Spice Can't Fish, and today I've got the final episode for this year's season of Spicy Nuggets. If you guys haven't seen the first couple of Spicy Nuggets episodes, or you guys haven't seen any of mine from last year, essentially what this is a bunch of just random fish clips that never made it onto my channel. A lot of the time I'll go out and just have a really crappy day of fishing, only catch a fish or two, but I don't really want to get rid of those fish catches because I don't catch enough fish for me to just be getting rid of fish catches like that. But I save them up until the off season. As you guys know, I live in Colorado, so we do have a little bit of an off season where I can't really go fishing. And that's why you guys see a lot of unboxings on my channel this time of the year. Unfortunately, I don't live in Texas or Florida or Georgia where I can just go out and fish 365 days a year. If I could, I probably would, but unfortunately we have like 4 or 5 months where the ice comes and seasonal depression sets in. So like I said, we have a 3 or 4 month off season where I can't do any fishing really. I could probably go trout fishing in the river, but I don't like to catch trout and I really don't like fly fishing. And I guess I probably could go ice fishing too, but the last time I did that I fell in, so probably won't be doing that again. So this is my way of being able to give you guys some fresh new fishing content that you haven't seen in my channel. Again, I don't have the liberty to go out and fish 365 days a year. What if I could? But unfortunately we have 4 months where there's ice and sadness, and I just really don't want to be outside for that. But yeah, enough about me complaining about the fact that I live somewhere where it snows most of the year. I'm actually just going to show you guys some fish content because I'm sure that's what you're here for. This is going to be the last episode of Spicy Nuggets for this season. I just had enough to make 3 videos out of it this time. Hopefully within the next month or so I'm able to get out and do some real fishing, give you guys some new fresh content, and actually start catching them again this year. But for right now, this is what you guys are going to be able to get. For some reason, it seems like all the big fish managed to get into the last video, so you guys got a bunch of nice fish catches to look forward to, a bunch of really cool stuff coming in this episode. Again, hope you guys enjoy. So the first clip in this video is going to be on a frog. This is a scum frog. I don't remember exactly the type. They have like 6 or 7 different iterations of the scum frog, but I'll leave it linked down in the description, just like a black frog. I believe the color was called like Grim Reaper or something like that. It's just a black frog. Again, it's a frog catch, so I was using my general frog stuff, 65-pound braid, 7-speed reel, 7.6 extra heavy fast action rod. Pretty standard for frog stuff, a little bit long, a little bit overpowered in terms of the rod, but works for me. This was from a day of kayak fishing out at one of my favorite little bodies of water. For whatever reason, I just wasn't having a great day. I got bit a few times on like a Senko or a fluke or something, but never really got anything to come to the boat. So I picked up the frog and I was throwing it up along these grass edges. You guys will see it in the video. I was fishing this long grass line, made a long cast as far as I possibly could while sitting down in the kayak. I was working the frog back to me, kind of like a medium pace. I work my frog a lot slower than I feel like a lot of people fish for their frogs, so kind of a medium pace for me, but kind of slow. You guys will see in the video. But yeah, frog was about halfway back to the kayak when this fish blew up on it. Oh, that's a big fish. I got a big one. Oh my God. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big fish. Oh my God. Come here, buddy. Not as big as I thought he was, but a good one. He violently ate that frog. Oh my God, that was awesome. Did you guys see that? I hope y'all freaking saw that. That was crazy. Not a bad one either. Very pretty fish, very dark. I love it. All right, buddy. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Peace out. Are you good? There he goes. Oh, that was awesome. Yes. First frogfish of the year. Gotta love that. He was way shallow over here. This fish, like I said in the video, I thought was a lot bigger than it actually is. Ended up being about a 2.5-pound fish. Pretty solid fish for out here in Colorado, just to give you guys some perspective. A Master Angler Award in Colorado is a 19-inch largemouth, so they're not very common out here. Again, not an absolute giant, about 2.5 pounds. It's a solid fish for out here. Honestly, 2.5 pounder is a solid fish wherever you are. But yeah, it was a great time. It definitely picked up my spirits on a slow day of fishing. All right, clip number 2 is another early morning session with me and my buddy Jack. We just went out to try and get on a couple of fish. It was actually a decent day of fishing. We caught like 3 or 4 fish, or I caught 3 or 4 fish. He caught like 2 or 3 fish. So solid day of fishing. Unfortunately, my GoPro died within like the first hour of us fishing, so I didn't really get a lot of footage. But I did manage to get this one fish catch. This was probably within the first 20 minutes of us getting there. Sun was just rising up. I was throwing around a buzzbait for a little bit and then decided to tie on a jerkbait. I made a long cast pretty much as far as I could possibly get it away from the dam, twitched it back, and when it was about halfway back to the dam, this big old bass hit it. I got one. That's a nice one. That's a nice fish. Oh. Oh my God, that's a really nice one, dude. Oh. Dude. Yeah. Dude. That's a nice fish. Oh my God. So yeah, they will eat the jerkbait in here. Dude, he ate the front treble. That's unreal. I gotta get a picture of this girl. Ooh, not quite. 426.
Okay.
426 is a great first fish.
Tank, dude. Yeah,
hell yeah.
Out the gate.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Appreciate you, big girl.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. What a stud.
Dude.
Good shit, bro. Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, that's fucking tight.
That's unbelievable. So yeah, like you guys saw, absolutely great fish, especially first thing in the morning. I'll take a 4 1/4 pounder as the first fish in the morning any day of the week. Absolutely fantastic. That's definitely the biggest fish I've caught on a jerkbait so far. Although to be fair, I don't really fish a jerkbait all that much. It's not something that I have a lot of confidence in. Although we're planning on changing that this year. I'm planning on working on my jerkbaiting skills a little bit so I can hopefully catch a few more fish like this coming year. But yeah, the setup we were using in that video was a 6-speed reel, is a 6.2 to 1, 6.5 to 1, something like that. 12-pound fluorocarbon, 7-foot medium fast rod, and then it was the KVD Strike King jerkbait. I believe it was the pearl bone color, but again, I will leave all the baits, all the colors, and everything linked down in the description if you guys want to go check any of that stuff out. And yeah, just a great way to start off the day. I thought I just got my jerkbait stuck on the bottom at first. I just twitched it a couple of times, and then one of my twitches felt just like I hit a rock. So I thought I was going to lose my jerkbait, and then it started pulling back. This clip took place over the summer, so it was pretty warm water temperatures. So I was doing like a 2 to 3 second pause in between each of my rips, and then doing 2 to 4 rips for each time that I jerked the bait. Again, jerkbait isn't something that I have a lot of confidence in, but definitely got the job done this morning. Alright, this third clip is actually from the same pond as the first clip, also a topwater fish, also me kayak fishing, just a different day, different bait obviously. I was actually out trying to film a topwater challenge video with an old-fashioned topwater called a Weedwalker, I believe, something like that. That video never ended up making it out. Again, I only caught this one fish on the bait, so couldn't really make a good challenge video out of that. So like I said, this video was going to be a challenge video with an old-fashioned topwater. I don't believe I'll be able to link that topwater for you guys. It's a really old topwater. I doubt they're even made anymore. I think they stopped making them back in the 80s, actually. One. Finally. I saw him beeline off the bank for that one. Not a bad fish. Nice. Fish number 1 on the old Weedwalker. What you know about that, son? Nice. Hell yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Alright, fella. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Peace. That was sick, dude. I made a long cast like right along the bank over here. I was actually throwing that Weedwalker. It came through this little, well, came through the weeds, and that little fish just came off the bank right over here. I saw him make a beeline for it, come up and smack it. But if you guys want to see a full video on that topwater, I do want to do one at some point. We just don't have great topwater conditions out here for the most part. But if you guys want to see that, I would be more than happy to try and make it again. Try and get out, try and catch a few fish on a super old-fashioned topwater. Again, old-fashioned bait, they stopped making it years and years ago, so I couldn't find out a lot of information about it. But if you guys want to see that video, if you guys want to see a challenge video with that old-fashioned topwater, let me know down in the description, or down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to do it. Alright, this fourth clip is actually going to be from a pond that you guys have probably seen on the channel a fair bit. I tend to actually film Bass Baits Monthly videos there a lot, just because I seem like I get a lot of crankbaits in Bass Baits Monthly boxes, and that's one of the few places that I know that they'll actually do crankbait in town. The water's super dirty, so you always want to put off some good vibration or some good sound or something. In this case, I was slow dragging a jig. It was a black and blue jig, a little finesse jig, that my buddy Derry over at Devil Horse Jigs poured up and tied up for me. It was like a black and blue with a little bit of green to it. Absolutely love the color on the jig. Just super sweet looking color scheme. Works really well, as you guys can see. I just cut the skirt down to give it a little bit more of a finesse-y cut. And then, like I said, you want something with at least some decent bulk or some decent action. So I tied up a Gary Yamamoto Baits Cowboy in the baby bass color as a trailer, and that seemed to work super well. I was using my jig rod, my chatterbait rod, pretty much my all-around rod. It's a 7.4 heavy moderate with a 7-speed reel and 15-pound fluorocarbon. Pretty standard stuff, a little bit longer than what most people throw, but works really well for chatterbaits, swim jigs, stuff like that. Actually, if you guys want to see a video on that specific rod, I will leave that link down in the description for you guys as well. It's the MFR Series 7.4 heavy moderate, the Zark Special. I recently did a 2-year full final review on that rod, so if you guys want to hear my honest thoughts and opinions about that rod, you can go check that video out. But anyway, we were out there fishing that super dirty water. Again, I was throwing a jig, made a nice little roll cast up along this little riprap bank. There's like a little pipe in the water with some concrete around the edge to protect it from stuff, and as I was bringing it right past that little concrete part, I felt a fish come up and pick it up. Oh, fish. Got one on the jig. Oh, sorry, buddy. There we go. Finally. There we go. A little guy, but he crunched the jig. Come on, buddy. There we go. Nice little fat one. Definitely getting ready to spawn. Alright, bud. Gonna have to drop you a little bit. Sorry. Thanks, though. So like you guys saw, that fish just kind of picked it up. I never really got that classic jig bite where you kind of feel the line think. It was just kind of like a light pickup. I was actually trying to pop the bait off of the fish's mouth because I thought I was stuck on a rock or something, but it ended up being a little fish. I gotta say, I don't throw a jig a lot on the channel. I probably should throw it a lot more than I do. It's something that I do really enjoy doing. It's just not something that we do a lot around here. Most of our ponds are really silty, really muddy, and a jig just doesn't really work all that well in those situations. Generally, I'll pick a Texas rig over a jig just because they're a little bit more weedless. They come through the cover that we have around here a little bit better, but I really do want to pick up a jig a little bit more this spring especially, so you guys will probably see some more jig fishing this coming spring and summer on the channel. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, but for that last clip that we just talked about, the one with the Weedwalker, I was using my 7.6 extra heavy fast, just my frogging setup. 65-pound braid, 7-speed reel, you guys know how it is. Alright, this last and final clip for the series for this year is actually going to take place in the backyard ponds. I was out there early in the spring just throwing around a little shaky head with my favorite little finesse creature cross style baits on it. That bait is the Missile Baits Baby D-Bomb. A lot of people know about the regular size D-Bomb. I mean, a lot of people know about the Baby D-Bomb as well, but I feel like a lot of people use it predominantly for flipping, jig trailers, stuff like that. Where I like it, though, is also on a shaky head, especially that smaller Baby D-Bomb size. I feel like fits absolutely perfect on a shaky head, works fantastic imitating a smaller craw, which is great for if you're fishing small ponds a lot, like what I do. Throwing it on my 7-foot medium heavy fast action with a 7-speed reel. I was a 100 size reel, so I was using 30-pound braid just so I could fit a little bit of extra line on that reel. I've since switched over to 12-pound fluorocarbon, but at the time I was using 30-pound braid on that reel. There's a bite. Got one. Yes! That's not a bad one. Nice, dude. Awesome. I don't know why my drag slipped on such a tiny fish. Oh, I got him right in the eye. I'm sorry, buddy. Awesome, though. First bite of the day. Nice looking fish. He's got a little scar right here. Looks like he probably got bit by a bird or something at some point. Good to see you're doing well. Oh, his face is all messed up, too. I didn't do that, but it looks like he's been caught a few times. Otherwise, good looking fish. They're so pretty out here. They all have this, like, bronze color on them. Look really, really good. His face really does look kind of messed up now. The whole right side of his face is all just destroyed. His eyes all messed up now because of me. And his mouth is all snaggle-toothy. But not a bad fish. Alright, buddy. Later. Yeah. He's probably not happy with me. Sorry, bro. Didn't mean to hook you in the face and the eye like that. Let me fix my drag real quick. I don't know why that was all loose. Huh. Anyway, that's pretty cool. Caught that on a little shaky head with a Missile Baits Baby D-Bomb. I actually got that out of my Bass Baits monthly box a couple months ago. I don't remember exactly when, but I remember getting these, and they are absolutely killer for small ponds. A lot of people like them, like the normal size D-bombs for flipping and stuff, but I actually really like the little ones as well on like a shaky head, which gives off a really great finessey croc kind of presentation, and especially this time of year when the water's kind of cold and these fish don't want to find or aren't really looking for something super active. This can be a real good option for you. So yeah, like I said, I was using a shaky head with that Missile Baits Baby D-Bomb on it. It was a green pumpkin red flake color, I believe. A little bit different than your standard watermelon red flake. I think it does a little bit better job imitating an actual crawfish as opposed to just like a worm or something in the water. I feel like that green pumpkin is a little bit more brown to it. It looks a little bit more natural, a little bit more like a crawfish's color. I also dyed the tails of it a little bit orange. I don't know if you could see it all that well in the video, but I did use a little orange dye marker to mark down the tail a little bit just to give it a little bit of an extra pop. The water I was fishing was fairly clear, but it can never hurt to add just a little bit of extra color, especially if you're trying to imitate a crawfish, especially if you're trying to imitate those crawfish in the spring like we were. Add a little bit of red or a little bit of orange to the claws or like the body of the crawfish. Really helps nail the presentation, really helps seal the deal and get those fish to bite. Again, not a very big fish at all, so dank. I have no idea why my drag slipped. I think it was just kind of loose, but great to catch a little fish. I love fishing down in the backyard ponds, and it's always fun just catching a fish on a shaky head. Probably one of my favorite ways to finesse fish. I'm not really a big finesse fisherman, as most people aren't, but one of my favorite ways to fish finesse is with a shaky head, whether that be with a worm, a craw, a small swim bait, whatever you want to trailer it with. I just find that a shaky head works far and away better than most other finesse baits, at least for me. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me, y'all. I really hope you guys enjoyed this final installment of Spicy Nuggets for this year. We'll probably have some more for next year, but up until then, you probably won't see very much new fishing content from me until the season actually starts up this year. Again, if you guys want to check out any of the other Spicy Nuggets videos, I'll leave that playlist link down in the description for you guys, along with all the baits and stuff that we were using, all the colors and everything will all be linked down in the description for you guys to go check out. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me, y'all. Check and wreck them, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.